What's new? Get ready.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 48 of the Play to Win podcast. My name is Keiran, and I'm, of course, joined by my awesome, amazing, fantastic co host, Tyler. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well this week. It was a fairly busy week at work. At home, a bit busy, not too busy. I played some stuff. Well, more by stuff, some Horizon. I'll talk about it later. I didn't play too much of it, but I mean, I am also like 36 hours into that game at this point, deep into it. But it's been a pretty good week overall.
Nice. I've forgotten what sleep is this week. I have several uni assessments due, so it was fun.
That's always a blast. I don't miss those days of college. I don't miss it at all.
Yeah, I'm looking for. I'm only halfway through first year. I'm already like, can this be over now?
You got a couple more ahead of you, man.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the Play to Win podcast, a show where we break down the week's biggest gaming news to in-depth discussion. As a reminder, you can find timestamps to anything we talk about in the description. So if you want to find something specific that we're talking about this week, you can go ahead and do that there. Also, subscribe on YouTube and podcast services so you know when new videos and episodes of the podcast go live. If you take the notification bell on YouTube, you will be the first to know when things go live. So you should do that. Plus, it turns gold, and gold is a nice color. Preview topics for this episode are we're going to be talking about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet since they were announced last Sunday, right?
Yep, it was on a Sunday. It's an interesting day to drop these announcements, but it happened.
And we're going to be talking about the state of some of the big first-person shooters. A lot of them are not doing very well.
Right.
However, before we get into any of that, we have some brief mentions to get through, which I will rattle off as quickly as possible. Starting off, Evo 2022 will not have Super Smash Bros. Thanks to Nintendo, which is not good for that tournament. Well, not good for the fans of Super Smash Bros. Who attend that tournament, but can't be helped, I suppose.
Yeah, that community also had like a whole lot of bad stuff go on in it in the summer of 2020. So like I wouldn't be surprised if that also plays a factor in things.
Yeah.
But I mean, Nintendo also, they have a licensed tournament thing that's going to be happening with Panda, I believe is is the name of the company. Like they announced that last year. So that also like certainly plays a factor in things for this as well.
Yeah. We have some updates in terms of Russia and their relation with video games and the video games industry since, just as we mentioned last week, I'm not going to go too in-depth on it, but Russia is currently invading Ukraine, which is just a massively horrible situation for everybody. So we have some updates in relation to the games industry on that. Xbox and EA have pulled sales of their games and products in Russia and Belarus. PlayStation has pulled Gran Turismo 7 from sale in Russia. CD Projekt Red and Bloober Team will stop selling games in Russia and Belarus. And Stalker 2 development has been sidelined by GSC Game World in order to support their development team that's based in Kiev. I am very hopeful that all of their employees are doing okay.
As am I. Best wishes to everybody that's over there in the Ukraine, just trying to survive, trying to make it out. Best wishes to all of you.
Exactly. Xbox has released their Game Pass games for March, so you can claim Guardians of the Galaxy on cloud, console, and PC, which is another huge get for the service, which is awesome.
It is a great one there.
For Changing Tides is coming to cloud, console, and PC. Microsoft Flight Simulator is now available on cloud. Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13 is on console and PC. Kentucky Route Zero is on cloud, console, and PC. Lawnmower Simulator is on console, which I am very excited to get into. It just looks like a very satisfying game. And Young Souls is coming to cloud, console, and PC. So if you are a fan or interested in any of those games, you can look at when they are coming to Game Pass. Some of them are already there, some of them coming soon.
Yep. Lightning Returns gives me no excuse to not do the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy now. Because I mean, I've already played the first one. The second one's on there. Yeah. It's just like, all right, let's find the time to do that. Which reminds me, I haven't touched my Xbox in a minute. It's definitely just been sitting there.
Bandai Namco is raising the salary of all employees in Japan, which is awesome. Something I don't have here, but something I remember from when I read the article. They're raising all employees. Well, the average employee salary, is going up by 50,000 yen, which equates to like £320, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, that's very good.
Good. People getting more money. That's always good.
Exactly. Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 are all getting updates on Xbox Series X, PS5, and PC, specifically in terms of performance and graphical areas.
Yeah. Also, Series S. You just said Series X.
Yes, sorry, Series S as well. We have some new GTA 5, Xbox Series X, PS5 details.
And Series S details.
And Series S. I always do that. I don't know why.
Because you only have the X, not the S.
Yeah,
that's why.
Yeah, probably. So I'll just buy. I'll buy an Xbox Series S. Solution right there. Okay, so you can expect high-end PC visuals on console. Fidelity mode will be native 4K on PS5 and Series X, and upscaled 4K on Series S, with ray tracing at 30 frames per second. Performance mode is upscaled 4K on PS5 and Xbox Series X, 1080p on Xbox Series S, and will be 60 frames a second. Performance ray tracing mode on PS5 and Xbox Series X will be upscaled 4K with ray tracing at 60 frames a second. You can also expect faster load times, increased vehicle and pedestrian variety, increased vegetation density, and more. PS5 takes advantage of haptics and adaptive triggers, which kind of like, if I was going to be getting this, makes me kind of lean more towards the PS5 version.
Yeah.
Story mode saves can be transferred by uploading to the Rockstar Social Club on their current console and downloading them on their new one. And only one save per platform can be uploaded at a time, and they say available to download for 90 days. So some new information regarding the next gen versions of GTA 5 on Xbox Series X and S and PS5.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do fidelity mode, most likely for a bit. And then maybe like I'll see what the Digital Foundry like breakdown everything is, because it's going to be between the fidelity mode and performance RT mode. Like just like I wonder what the visuals are going to be like, because I know this thing it's upscaled 4K and that's different from native 4K.
Yeah,
but I'm just wondering like how it's going to look in comparison, because if the performance RT is looking great, I might go with that and just enjoy GTA 5 at 60 FPS like that with ray tracing and all the nice bells and whistles. But like we also still have not actually seen really anything of this, like visual, like videos. We have not seen gameplay of this. So just like drop the gameplay, please, Rockstar. That way we could be like, okay, good. Like, don't give us a repeat of the trilogy collection that you all dropped. That was not that great.
Yeah. That game comes out this month, right?
March 15th.
Yeah. So they have for 9 days to drop gameplay, since nobody's seen it yet.
Yep.
Haven't spoken about this and some of this news in a while. Activision Blizzard has been back in the headlines this week with yet again some more horrible stuff. They have blamed the Microsoft acquisition on failing to comply with a California law to appoint more women to their board of directors, even though this law has been in effect since like 2019.
Yeah. So, like, it's just like you guys have had a lot of time to do this. No, it's kind of, it's like, come on now.
Yeah, like it like, basically again trying to think of any excuse to get the blame off them.
Right.
In other Activision Blizzard news, just two bits of Activision Blizzard news here. Activision Blizzard shareholders are suing over the Microsoft acquisition. Now I put a link in here, but I don't think it has the specific quote I was looking for. So I remember from when I was reading an article on this that the reason they're suing is because apparently they didn't disclose all aspects of the acquisition to shareholders before they approved it.
I see.
Obviously, don't 100% quote me on that because I'm remembering off the top of my head rather than reading it. But interesting situation.
Yep, it is. That's a little mini update right there.
Yeah. Epic Games has acquired the music service Bandcamp for whatever reason. I have not read into that.
All about the metaverse, I'm sure. Like, I haven't read into it. I saw the headline. I was like, this is a bizarre thing, but
yeah.
All right. You all want to be the metaverse, so it tracks with that. Yeah.
And our final brief mention here is, according to the physical and digital sales from data from the GCD, Elden Ring is the biggest UK video game launch since Call of Duty Vanguard, and the biggest launch of a game that's not FIFA or Call of Duty since Red Dead Redemption 2. And it was also the biggest launch for any Souls game in the UK, both noted by gamesindustry.biz.
I just think it's like, wow, this is like another little cherry on top of like the Elden Ring phenomenon, the wave, the craze surrounding that game. And like the more I see of it this week, the more I'm just like, yo, I just want to like get Elden Ring and give it a go. And like I was talking with Tyler a bit about it from a Good Game We Lost. I was just like, because I posted on Twitter, I was like, the meme of the guy like pointing at himself in the mirror. I was just like, you won't get Elden Ring. You only want to get it because of the FOMO.
Yeah.
You actually don't want to buy it right now. You don't need to. He was just like, do it. And I'm just like, there's too much of the stuff I need to play and want to play that's not that right now. And I also don't even know if I'd really like it that much. So like Demon Souls will be my test bed of sorts, but maybe I'll still get it at some point, like in a couple months. It's not happening now. But the more I see of it, the more I'm just like, do you want to just like buy Elden Ring after you
Yeah.
Do you want to do that? And honestly, if it wasn't for like the Kingdom Hearts stuff I'm working on, I'd probably get Elden Ring like as soon as I finish Horizon. If it wasn't for that or like Ghostwire at the end of the month, there's just too much other things happening.
Yeah. I mean, quite honestly, I think the only reason I bought it was like the hype surrounding it, because like, I like as soon as it arrived and I was looking at it, I was like, why did I buy this?
See, that's the situation I was not going to end up in, which is why I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I got caught up in like the SpongeBob meme of like, I don't need it. I don't need it.
It was the FOMO. The FOMO got to you.
Yeah. It's a good game. I'm enjoying it. It was worth the buy.
Yeah, at least you're enjoying it though. So that's good.
That is going to round out our brief mentions. So I suppose it's time to move on to our first news topic. That topic being that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet have been announced by Game Freak. This is the 9th generation of Pokemon. It was releasing in late 2022. And just some details about the games. Open world with towns will seamlessly blending with the wild. I'm not sure if I understand that sentence, but I'm sure Tyler does.
No, it just means that like Breath of the Wild. You know how in Breath of the Wild, like the towns, like that was a poor example, but better, like that's what I mean. It's like you walking in the town and then like you walking around and like the town just like seamlessly blends with the open, with like, you know, the wilds and everything like that. But the wild, I mean, like it was a tough way for me to phrase it. Like wild isn't necessarily the right term, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, no,
just
100%.
Like the routes and the fields and the forest, it just seamlessly blends.
Yeah. Pokemon can be seen roaming around freely in towns, skies, and wilds, etc. The new region appears to be based on Spain, which I didn't actually know that. That's actually quite interesting.
Did you see the trailer?
I did, yes.
Yeah. So like after the trailer, and just based on the names of the Pokemon that we have here so far, and the places that you see in the trailer, fans would theorize that like this seems to be based off of, I think it was like Italy or Spain, one of the two. I think Spain is the one that most people were saying now.
Okay. And for starters, you can get. Hang on, my eyes have just gone really funny. Sprigatito. Sprigatito,
I believe is how it's pronounced.
Yeah,
their names are very interesting, to say the very least. I'll pull it back up just to be 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure that's its name.
So Sprigatito is a grass type cat Pokemon. Fuecoco is a fire type croc Pokemon. And the one I would absolutely die for is Quaxley, who is a water type duck Pokemon.
Yes.
I would lay down my life to protect Quaxley.
Real quick, it was Sprigatito. I accidentally put in an extra I, which is what I thought, because I was like, wait, actually, you know what? I could have swore it was just Sprigatito. This is the first time where I think all of them are absolutely adorable and gorgeous and just super cute. And I'm like, man, you know, normally I go with the fire type right away, but when I first saw them, I was like, yo, Fuecoco looks so dumb. I'm not going with the fire type. I'm not doing it. But like the more I look at him, I was like, you know, you're actually kind of growing on me the more I look at you. Like you look dumb and stupid, but like in a cute, adorable type of way, where it's like it's a charming type of dumb, stupid look that you have on your face right now. Sprigatito just looks like very precious, and Quaxley just looks smarmy and cute as possible. I also saw a lot of people saying, "Oh my gosh, this is basically Kingdom Hearts characters right here." Fuecoco is Goofy, Quaxley is Donald because he looks straight up like Donald Duck.
Yeah.
Sprigatito is just your Sora. I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is so correct. We have the Kingdom Hearts squad right here." I'll probably go with Fuecoco though, since he has grown on me, and I always go with the fire type. So I think that's what I'll do.
Yeah. I'm probably not getting it. I've mentioned before. I was like, I don't hate Pokemon. I played either Sword or Shield a bit. Just not really a game I would immediately go to necessarily. Although I bought Elden Ring, so who knows? But like it looks cool. It looks like a Pokemon game, but like it looks like they've kind of added some new things into it that appeal to me a little bit more. Mainly Quaxley, but
I mean, like we don't know really much of anything about the game
exactly.
aside from like this is what the world looks like. These are the 3 starters, and it's open world. That's all we know. We know like nothing else about the game or the systems. So like it visually it looks better than Sword and Shield. Like visually it looks like it's on par with well, no, I was about to say on par with Legends Arceus. It looks like in terms of textures on like character on like some of the Pokemon and everything, it looks like it's better. Like it's just a step up. It doesn't look like as bad as Arceus does, but it just looks better than the past few Pokemon games have. Essentially, a mainline, not counting Pokemon Snap, because Pokemon Snap looked really good, visually, but like. People have been wondering, okay, is this game going to carry over some of the same systems as Legends Arceus? Like, are we going to be able to freely approach Pokemon battles, like just freely just like catch a Pokemon without having to go into battle? Do we have to fight them? Do we have the random encounters in the game? Like, how is it going to work? And those details we don't know as of just yet.
Yeah, I saw a meme in response to the like after the trailer came out, and it was like the top one was. It was like Game Beat, and it's like, oh, we've just released our best look. Game Freak, not Game Beat. Game Freak was like, we've just released our most open world, best looking Pokemon game ever that fans love, and then underneath it was Game Beat. So I keep doing that. Game Freak saying, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, we're doing it again.
Yeah,
months later, it's crazy.
Yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No.
I was going to say that I'm looking forward to it. Like I wanted to play Legends Arceus, and I never got around to it when it first came out. So then I saw this trailer, and I was like, "Wow, this looks awesome." Do I want to play Sword? Maybe I should play Sword and Shield. To have more of a refresher on last mainline, like 8th gen Pokemon, because I started, never finished it. Then I was like, actually, I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe I will, but I don't know if I'll go back to finish Sword and Shield, because I wasn't feeling it too much. And again, like I was getting so overpowered in that game where I was just like, I know I need to pump the brakes on certain Pokemon, because like I'm not gonna be able to use them without having a certain gym badge. I mean, unless Shield doesn't work like that, and I just didn't know all this time. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll get Legends Arceus sooner and play that game, since it looks like this one is, it's having the open world, and I want to see like how it evolves the open world from Legends Arceus, since clearly both these games were made in tandem at the same time, So I wonder how much they're implementing from Legends Arceus into this game, and if they're going to like, because they've been made in tandem, if they'll be able to look at the reception of Legends Arceus and say, all right, you know what? They like these things in this game. Let's put them in Scarlet and Violet. Or let's double down on these things in Scarlet and Violet. You get what I mean? That we might have been like only dipping our toes in for a bit with Scarlet and Violet, but we see people like it, so let's go all the way with it now.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what I want to play Legends Arceus for, to see. And seeing all those and these new starters, that I guess just the new hype around a new Pokemon generation has me really like, you know what? I think I want to jump. I think I want to go back into Pokemon with Scarlet and Violet, and maybe this will be like the ones that actually really get me for the first time in like 15 years. Like it's been a very long time since I was really into a Pokemon game.
Yeah. I mean, I might get it at some point, because like I said, like I've played good amount of. I can't remember if I played Sword or Shield. I think it was Shield.
If it was red, it was Shield. If it was blue, it was Sword.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's been a couple months since I've turned on my Switch. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
But like I mean, like I said, I don't hate Pokemon games. They're just not my typical like go to. I have to get this at launch, or I'm in any rush to get this game.
Mm-hmm.
So like I might play either Scarlet or Violet at some point. Probably Violet, mainly because my favorite color is purple. But hey ho.
Mm-hmm.
So like I might get it. I might not. I don't know. It looks good. It looks like so of what we see. I can't speak today. Of what we have seen of it so far, it looks like it might be fun. It looks like it will be fun.
Mm-hmm. So like what do you hope for from this new generation? Like, is there anything that you hope for from the game? Or maybe that might not be the question for you, but like what is it that this one could do to like get you in on it? To get you to be like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. What is it just gonna be the FOMO, or like is there something that you would kind of need this Pokemon game to do, or be like, oh, okay, you know what, I mean, let me give it a shot?
I don't think I can competently answer either of those, just because, like I said, I'm not a big Pokemon person, so I don't know what I would want in a Pokemon game to make me be like, yes, I need to go and get the game, or like it would interest me more. Just like seeing gameplay, and then if I'm like, yeah, I mean, it looks cool. It looks like something I could play, when I'm lying in bed bored or something, I'll get it. But other than that, there's not really anything specific that I have any hopes or wants for specifically from a Pokemon game.
Got it. Yeah, so it'll probably just end up being like the Elden Ring thing for you, where it's like
kind of, yeah,
you see stuff for it, and then you're just like, you know what? Why not? Let's give it a go, maybe.
Yeah.
See, for me, it's I like Pokemon. I just haven't been into it in so long. Part of it was because my interest in gaming tastes have changed over the years, but part of it was also because Pokemon kind of was just doing the same thing for a very long time. And Legends Arceus came out and was like, hey, we're doing something completely different from what we've done before. It is not necessarily open world, but like open areas, and the way you approach Pokemon battles is differently. The way you approach catching Pokemon is done very differently. Like the way you approach everything in the game is completely different from what we've done before. And that all right there automatically caught my interest from the moment the game was announced. And as we learned more and more about it, got a bit more and more interested in the game. Get to review time, reviews come out. The game is really great. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. It does a whole lot of cool, interesting new things to the Pokemon system and everything, except it's just ugly. But ignore the ugliness. It's actually a really, really fun game, a really good game. So all of that got me excited for that. And now to see that this next mainline one is going to be open world, possibly seemingly taking some inspiration from Legends Arceus, hopefully, in terms of in more ways than just the open world. I think that's what's going to that'll really do it a whole lot for me. If it's not just open world Pokemon, if they really do maybe some different things with the combat and approaching catching Pokemon and exploring the world, if they take some steps in that realm to actually advance the franchise, the mainline franchise, that'll get me really excited for this next game. So it's more, at this point, it's a wait and see type thing. Like right now I'm hyped for it because open world, cool. The Pokemon starters, they look cute. And Legends Arceus, like those three things right there are kind of filling my excitement for this, and also just like the new hype behind a new Pokemon generation that comes up from the community. That's filling me as well. It's like, ooh, I'm into it. I'm looking forward to this. This is awesome. So that's where I am right now. And I feel like I'll probably be at a different place come June. Once I imagine June, July is whenever like Nintendo does their E3 type of direct, we'll get like another good look at the game. I imagine, once that happens, then like I'll be like, ooh, I'll probably be more excited or maybe less excited. It depends on what we find out. But I just really hope that they don't say, all right, we made steps forward with Legends Arceus, and we're gonna take steps back now.
Yeah.
Going back to like typical Pokemon. And I want them to, keep advancing the mainline franchise in fun, interesting new ways that it desperately needs. Like it just desperately needs to like do something new.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing that the by the sounds of what you want from the game, one thing they can't do is like they can't like develop the two at the same time and then go and just entirely like go forward and backward at the same time.
Right. And I mean, like, Legends Arc is a spinoff. It's not a mainline entry. So, like, the mainline entry does not have to be beholden to doing what a spinoff does. No. But when your franchise has gone on for so long, doing the same thing for quite some time and not really advancing itself, and your fans have begged you to advance their franchise in ways that your spinoff kind of does, it would be really disappointing for that spinoff that did what fans wanted it to do in many ways and exceeded expectations in a lot of ways. It'd be a shame for your mainline entry that was made at the same time as that spinoff game to look at it and be like, no, we won't do that actually. We liked these ideas and we know people liked them, but we're not going to do that. No, I don't think I will. And just look the other way. That would be really disappointing. Not just for me, but I know for a lot of other people as well.
Yeah. Actually, two things this game can do for me because I just thought of them. One, put my favorite Pokemon on it, which is Groudon, which I know they're not going to do that. But two.
Okay.
Please stop forcing me into Pokemon battles. Like when I'm walking down a path, like just trying to get somewhere different. Like I got so sick of people like running up to me and being like, "Hey, you're gonna battle me," and I'm like, "I don't want to right now."
Oh, you mean like trainer battles? I thought you meant like the Pokemon, like themselves, like walking through the grass.
No.
Well, I mean, you mean like the random trainers?
Yeah, just like the people who will be standing along the road, being like, "You're gonna battle me now." I'm like, I don't want to do that now. Let me go. I can't stand that.
It would be cool. I mean, you see, that's the thing where it's like that's mainline Pokemon, but like you have the battles along the way. So it's like, I wonder how you go about making it so that you could do them if you want to, or avoid them if possible, without then kind of taking away some of that mainline Pokemon charm, or just like what mainline Pokemon is in a sense. You get what I mean? Yeah. I wonder how you go about that. Not saying that they shouldn't, but I wonder how you go about that.
Just give me a solid snake cardboard box and we're fine.
You said solid state or solid snake? I know you meant solid snake. Okay, because at first I thought you said solid state, and I'm like, what? That doesn't make sense. And I was like, wait, no, he had to say solid snake because the cardboard box. Got it, sneak past. Yeah. But I thought you might have just like mixed up the wording and everything. I would have came out your mouth. I misheard. I'm sorry. I apologize.
You're good. Last question. Do you have a favorite Pokemon?
I don't know if I have an overall favorite Pokemon. Like back in the day, it used to be Blaziken, which was the final evolution of not Chimchar. The final evolution of Torchic in Pokemon Ruby and Emerald.
Yeah.
That was my go-to. I cloned the mess out of him in Emerald. I had like 5 of him at level 99. It was beautiful, it was glorious. But I also like the last evolution of Chimchar from Diamond and Pearl. I forgot what that one was called. I also like, I like Pikachu, obviously. Charizard's cool. I don't think I have a favorite. I'm not like a Pokemon fan like that. Like I like who I like, and that's what it is. I don't have any particular favorites. You'd have to give me like, all right, here are these 3. Who's your favorite of these 3? I can't tell you my favorite overall though.
Okay, so we're gonna move on from a nice, colorful, light-hearted game where you catch all these adorable little creatures to a game where you shoot people through the head and they die.
Multiple games.
Yeah, multiple games, really. So we're going to be talking about like floundering first-person shooters, and this is kind of stemmed from, there were like a couple of things that happened this week in terms of Battlefield 2042 and Halo Infinite and Call of Duty Vanguard. So
not really COD this week, but I'm throwing it into the conversation because it plays a factor in things for this conversation.
Fair enough. So the things that are going on with those 3 games kind of all tie into the same question. So we're going to start with just some updates on 2042. DICE will start fixing maps in Battlefield 2042 this summer. They're going to be adjusting player and vehicle counts, and they will be changing objective positions.
And they're going to be doing this because people have been kind of complaining about like the maps end up feeling like they are either there's like too much going on, or in terms of like the objective positions, it's like you're just kind of running forever and all, just trying to get to somewhere. Yeah. And then because of like the way terrain is, you could just be easily sniped and you're just like on your way to a place. So like they're going to be making changes to it. And this is just one of the issues that Battlefield 2042 has. And they said they're going to start doing this in the summertime with season 1, which has already been delayed quite a bit. Oh, your camera went out. Interesting.
Did it?
Yep, it certainly did.
Oh.
Now you're back. And then they said they're going to be doing it for the maps that are already out, but then they're also going to be like making these changes in mind for future maps as well.
Oh, okay.
So that's the state of things with that.
Yeah. They also said that they are going to be addressing Battlefield 2042's low popularity.
No, they didn't say that. I just did. No, that didn't happen. You want me to keep going on this?
Sure. Yeah. Like I said, sorry, I've been very busy with uni assessments this week, so I have not had a whole lot of time to keep up with news this week. So it probably best that you take over on that.
Yeah. So DICE is going to start fixing the maps. There's also the fact that Battlefield 2042's popularity is just super low. So it had, I forgot what day the article went up, but like its player count on Steam was less than Battlefield 5, Battlefield 4, and Battlefield 1. Battlefield 4 it came out in 2014 or 2013. The fact that Battlefield 2042's player count, which that game came out last year, and it has less players than Battlefield 4, which came out a whole console generation ago.
13.
At the start of that console generation, yes, 2013. That is a shame. That is utterly a shame, and a sign of just like the poor state that this game is in terms of just the community, the content is just like the playability, the stability is just not a good state. You go over to Halo Infinite, which that game came out super polished. Everyone loved it. Just kind of content bare. And the thing is, it was funny. I was talking with someone on Twitter about this the very day that this happened, because I saw a tweet from Paris Lilly, who some of you might know.
I saw that tweet.
Co-host over on Gamertag Radio. He's also on the Kind of Funny Xcast, where I forgot what the exact wording of his tweet was, but he basically said, like, I'm just gonna say it. It hurts to say this, but like Halo should have been delayed like an extra like year or like extra couple of months, so that there wasn't such a long break between new content coming out, because like the game launched again with no campaign co-op, no Forge, a small amount of modes, small amount of maps, and it's like the season has been going on for a long time. So it's just like it should have been delayed so that there could have been more stuff either in the game at launch, or so that there wasn't such like a long break between the game launching and new content coming to it. And so I was talking with someone about this on Twitter, like, yeah, like it's crazy because like I liked the game when it came out, thought it was great, really polished, but like the lack of content there is what, is part of what really harmed the multiplayer in my eyes.
Yeah.
And like notwithstanding the battle pass issues. So we were talking about it. It was like, yeah, like there hasn't really been any news surrounding Halo in a while. Like I haven't heard anything about it, anything from 343 or the community in so long. And then literally maybe an hour later or a few hours later, 343, they put out this blog post it was kind of like a roadmap for the next season of Halo Infinite. So they said that season 2, which is titled Lone Wolves, it's going to come with some new playlist changes, modes, and 2 new maps. One arena map called Catalyst, a big team battle map called Breaker. But then they also said that campaign co-op is delayed from the start of season 2 to sometime later in the season. And they also said that the next season 1 event is going to start next week. It is called the week of this episode. It is called Tactical Ops.
Yeah.
But it's like campaign co-op. It's not coming as soon as we thought it was. Now it's going to be even later in season 2. Who knows when in season 2 it'll be? It could be 2 weeks in. It could be 2 months in. Who knows when that's happening? And then the season 1 event, Tactical Ops, it's like, okay, cool. I don't know how long it's been since the Cyber Shadow one that happened. Not Cyber Shadow, the Cyber Showdown, I think is what it was called. The one that gave us the Mohawk, the glowy Mohawk, and the
yeah, I think I know what you're talking
attrition
about.
game mode, whatever that game mode. It's been a bit since that event happened. I think that was like beginning of January-ish, because it was shortly after the holiday event that they had going on. So like it's been a bit since there was an in-game event for Halo. Like Halo Infinite's kind of been just kind of quiet over there. It's kind of like shocking. Going away from Halo, bringing Call of Duty, we all know Vanguard had like a poor performance, like just lower than expected performance from Activision for this game. So like all three of these big shooters released in various states and had varying types of reception. But the one commonality that they all have is that they're not living up to expectations the way that people hoped they would or wanted them to. So that brings about the question, what's going on with them? Like, what's going on with each of these franchises here? Like, do they need to reevaluate things? What's going on?
Yeah. So one thing I did see this week, and when I saw it, I was like, if this is real, I am going to riot, because I think it was like a joke or a troll or a fan made like roadmap of Halo Infinite. And it was broken down into like season 1, 2, 3, and 4. And at the end of season 4, it said Justin Timberlake event. And I'm like, if they start doing music concerts.
Okay, so you know that's a lie. So you know that was a lie.
Yeah, 100%, right? But like when I initially saw it, like there was a part of my brain that was like, hang on, that's not real, is it? But like I was like, if they start doing music concerts in Halo Infinite multiplayer, I'm gonna riot. That's not something I want from Halo. But I think in terms of like what's going on and how they need to like course correct and reevaluate is, I think they are trying their best to satisfy what they think fans want rather than actually listening to what fans want. I think they're adding things in that would be like, oh, this would be really cool. The fans are going to love this. And this would be really cool. Fans are going to love this. But then in reality, it's more like there are a portion of the fans that like this feature or content that you're adding, but not all of them. And in terms of Halo Infinite and kind of Battlefield 2042 as well, it's like you're not adding in content in a succinct
timely
enough
fashion.
Yeah, succinct enough timely fashion, something to that extent, right?
Yeah, like things are just dragged on for so long. Like the first season for Battlefield was supposed to start March-ish? No, February, and then it got delayed to March. So actually, when I said earlier that the summer thing with the maps was going to be season 1, I might have been misspeaking on that, because I kind of actually don't remember if season 1 got delayed to summer now. So I could be wrong on that. My brain could have misremembered things, but even still, like new content for Battlefield on 2042, just like taking forever to come out because they've had to fix so many things with the game. Halo Infinite's taking so long to get new content because its first season is taking it's basically a 6-month season. The game came out in December. The first season isn't ending till May, so not 6 months, 5 months, but still quite a long time for one season to go on for a game without any new content being added to it during that season. Like,
yeah, and then there's also the thing of like I'm a little disappointed that after this 5-month season of no new content, you're adding 2 maps. Like don't get me wrong, I'm sure those maps took a while to make. Like, I'm not saying that it wasn't, challenging for them to make them, but at the same time, it's like I would have expected somewhere in the region of say 4 to 6, right?
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah,
that would have added more life to the multiplayer space and everything.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like as much as I understand that maps take a while to, it's not like you can just like crank one like out one after another like all year long. But at the same time, it's like when you have to wait so long for new content, and when that new content comes, it's not as much as probably should have been there to bring fans back in. Because I feel like when you have 2 maps, right? sure, you're going to get people who might be like, oh, these maps are awesome, and then they continue playing, but there's not going to be a whole like a massive amount of new variety in maps. If you just
Mhm.
add two, if you added like 4 or 6, then that's a good amount of maps to add in one season. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't overwhelm people having to learn 10 different new maps, but at the same time, it's not adding so few maps that it's basically just more of the same, and you're far more
Yeah.
likely to get one of the maps you've already played on rather than one of the new ones.
Yeah. And I mean, I want to be fair here. In the Halo Waypoint blog post, where they kind of say this, they say, I'm going to read it here. During season 2, we will also be shipping playlist updates, balance changes, new modes, and maps. Specifically, one arena map named Catalyst and one big team battle map named Breaker. The new modes include Last Spartan Standing, a free-for-all elimination mode, as well as another new mode named Land Grab, plus the return of an updated all-time favorite mode, King of the Hill. I just want to be fair here, and like when they say new maps, specifically this one and this one. I don't know if that means, if that's them saying there's going to be multiple new maps, but we're calling out these two specifically,
maybe.
or if they're saying there's going to be new maps, specifically only this one and only this one. Like, I'm not sure exactly what it is that they mean. If they mean that it's only these two, like you said, that is a shame. And that's like really sad that all like 5 months later, we're only getting 2 new maps, one for this mode and one for the other mode. And I mean, like you said, also not to discredit how difficult it is to develop these things and all like that. Don't want to take that away. Don't want to ignore that or downplay it. But at the same time, going 5 to 6 months in the shooter, and that's all there is being added in terms of new maps to play on. That's disappointing. That's just straight disappointing. There's no getting around that. It'd be different if it was like 2 new maps in each mode, 2 new maps in each mode, 4 new maps total.
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be like, I think that'd be acceptable, but it's only 1 in each. And that's where it's just like, really, that's all we're getting for this season.
Yeah. And I mean, it kind of reminds me of how Overwatch do their like map rollout, because they don't release new maps often. They release new maps maybe, once every, say, 6 months, maybe. 4 or 5 months. I don't know the exact timeline, but it's not often, right? So if they can find a way to almost like Overwatch do with their like event maps, kind of, where like you'll be, instead of going through like the map you usually would in PvP, say you had a PvE event, you would be able to run through like another portion of this map you usually don't get to explore. So if they introduced, no, I'm gonna ignore that, actually, because I don't think they would ever do anything like that. So that's kind of a moot point.
I was trying to follow you on that idea, and I was not following you at all. It was just like the train's going, and I'm kind of keeping up with it, but that train's just gone. I can't keep up with it.
Yeah, I started saying it, I'm like, oh, this would be a really cool idea, and then I continued saying it. I'm like, but wait, 343 would never do that though. So yeah, we'll just ignore everything I've just said. I was a little bit disappointed there's not at least one new weapon with the update, but
yeah. And you know what? Let's shift this conversation to do it like this, because I'm talking about Halo right now. Let's just finish up talking about Halo, then we'll move it to Battlefield and then Call of Duty. Since I realized that we're just strictly talking about Halo right now, and just like, whoa, hold on. So let's talk about Halo right now. Let's start to wrap up the Halo talk in regards to all this. Like you said, new weapons. It'd be cool if they added those. I think just Halo's issue, at least in my eyes, is like the game is fun to play. It's just that there's just been such a dry gap, a drought of just like new content and some substantial new content being added to the game. And I mean, it's only March. It's been about 3 months since the game released, but still, like, there's been a drought of new content to add to the game to give it new life and all. So what I think Halo needs to be more open with their communication first off, because again, there was also like just a giant like dry spell of just like silence, radio silence in the team. So there needs to be better communication, first off. They definitely need to be more frequent with the events. I think like one fun event per month, I think
Yeah.
would be good, as opposed to the amount of time there's been between the last one, the cyber one, and then this one. Like, try and keep one event per month just to keep things, you know,
Yeah.
just give things a bit of a temporary bit of life and new funness to Halo. Um, I think that could be something that they do. Adding new weapons would be nice. More maps, please and thank you, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely would help out. And yeah, I think that's what Halo's problem is. Halo's problem is the content, not the quality of the game.
Yeah.
So that's what they need to work on. What are your last final thoughts on what Halo needs to do?
I mean, I honestly think I've kind of said everything, but just add like increase the frequency in which you release new maps, maybe add a few more weapons into multiplayer. And I mean, like you say, kind of make events more frequent and more consistent. So do again like one every third week of the month or something. I don't know. Just im- improve the frequency and quantity of your updating content.
And I guess my final thing with this, I guess when it comes to maps, maybe you can release the stuff during the season too. Like you can release if you're gonna have 4 maps total for a new season. Let's say just pull a number out of the air, 4, right? If you're gonna do 4 maps for a new season, you could do 2 at the start and then 2 maps partway through the season. That's something you can do, because I know Call of Duty does that. We could actually shift this in. Well, no, we'll shift it to Call of Duty later. That'll be the last one we talk about. But just like a brief note on Call of Duty is that with their seasons, like the seasons will start with stuff, and then mid-season they'll add in new things as well. Like it might be like a new map or so, maybe a new mode or two, some new weapons. Like they add stuff in partway through the season. It's not just like, all right, here's everything at the start, and now that's all you got for like 3 months. It's like they add some new stuff in. They let you know up front. Here's at the start. Here's what's going to come mid-season or partway through. So they got that kind of down. So Halo should definitely do that, or at least something like that.
Yeah.
Now Battlefield. What do you think? What does Battlefield need to do in its course correction? Because I think of the 3, Battlefield seems to be like in the most dire state right now.
Oh yeah, 100%. Honestly, I think all they need to do is just listen to what the fans are saying the most prominent bugs are and like fixes you should be adding to the game. Listen to what the most popular and prominent ones of those are and focus on fixing those first, as well as also fixing any that like the team notices just while playing or while developing, whatever. But just honestly, just getting that game into an at least semi frequently playable state it should be their main focus.
Yeah, like I can't speak to what's going on in terms of bugs or anything like that, but it just seems like players are just not happy with the features that they added in the game or the features that they took out the game, how long it's taken to get basic features, again, such as a scoreboard added to the game, combined with the new news here that they're going to be fixing maps because players aren't really happy with the way maps are in terms of player counts and just how crazy hectic things can get and just how long it takes to get to different objectives on maps and all like that. Like Battlefield has the issue of just like everything, really, just from the quality of what's there, the amount of stuff that's there, the player experience. It's all just not up to standards for Battlefield or what the standards that Battlefield fans would like it to be at. So there's that, and then the fact that again, their season, I don't know if they've added any new content at all for this. Well, no, they haven't even hit their first season yet, if I'm right. So, but in this time, leading up to the first season, I don't think they've added any new content. They have been trying to fix things, but I don't think they've added anything new. And it's like, man, like maybe we, what's going on with this? Like they're trying to navigate a live service space for Battlefield for really the first time. And they're not doing it all that well. Halo's also trying to navigate the same space. Halo's doing it a tad bit better, solely off the back of its quality of the game. Like there's that.
Yeah.
But Battlefield seems to be struggling with the live service aspect of it the most. So I'm really wondering how that's going to work for them, like what they need to do. They certainly need to, however many maps they add in the future, these maps need to be, you know, structured and set up the right way, set up properly, which it seems
Mhm.
they're trying to like take that into account now. But I think Battlefield's issue, aside from that, it's more so just like an identity crisis. I mean, we talked about it before, just like I forgot what episode it was, but I think it might have been 2 episodes ago. Just how Battlefield, it's looking rough ahead for the
Yeah,
future of that series in terms of who's running it, what they're going to be doing for the future of the series, and all like that. And I really, I'm kind of unknown as to what Battlefield needs to do aside from maybe just like
same.
go disappear for a bit
Yeah.
and all.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think their biggest problem right now is they're in damage control mode. They're in how exactly do we like no, that's the wrong phrase, but like we need to fix so many of these things as quickly as we possibly can to improve the game. And
Hmm.
until they get out of damage control mode, they're not going to be able to start actually like properly making new content for to bring people into the game. They need to get out of that initial like damage control mode state first, right?
Yeah. And the part that the reason they're in is because they released too early.
Exactly.
They simply released the game too early. And this and Halo Infinite could both have a lot of the problems solved if they just delayed their game so that there was
Mhm.
more stuff, so that bugs were fixed for Battlefield, and so that there was more content there day one, so that there wouldn't be such a long drought of no content or taking all the time to fix other things before you can get to the new content and all like that.
Yeah.
Like both those games needed a delay. Battlefield definitely needed it far more because of all
Yeah.
its issues. And because it didn't get that delay, it's now suffering greatly because things are just broken, ugly, not up to standards, so on and so forth. So I think of these three, like Battlefield yet again is going to be in a situation of, all right, what is Battlefield? How do we go about fixing Battlefield to get it back to what Battlefield is supposed to be, what it was once known for? Like I said before the episode, like Battlefield's lost the pedigree it had. It has lost that
Mhm.
shine and luster, and like
Yeah.
they need to focus on getting that back. So perhaps what they need to do is just disappear. Like they're not going to give up on 2042. They're not going to do
No.
that. But like keep it going, but just go into the like have a crew that just goes into the shadows that says, all right, like we have our main crew trying to keep Battlefield 2042 alive, but we know it's a lost cause. We're just keeping it alive for the people that have bought it.
Yeah.
What can we do for the future? And that's what Vincent Pella and his crew is all about. But it's going to be interesting seeing what happens with Battlefield. I hope we don't see another one in a year or two. Like
Yeah,
I
neither
hope
do I.
the next Battlefield is like what? It's 2022 now. I hope the next Battlefield doesn't come till at earliest
2042.
2024 or 2042. There's that too. Um, and I want to say the reason I got the thought for this was Gene Park tweet right over at Washington Post. Yes. Right over at Washington Post. Because he had quote tweeted the IGN article about Battlefield's the maps, no, the player count.
Hmm.
And he had said, paraphrasing, he was like, yeah, like I feel like FPS just like needs to become a niche genre again, because like all these big shooters now, they're each having these different issues. Like each of the big shooters in this past year just kind of came out and just like like kind of had a floundering response in
Yeah.
one way or another. So like maybe first person shooters just kind of need to become niche again because they're just kind of really stagnant in a weird way. So that's kind of what spawned this question in my head of like what's going on with these franchises, what do they need to do to reevaluate. If you don't have anything else to say, we could just move on to Call of Duty for battle.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, so like for Call of Duty, I think that with them it was just really the fact that no one wanted World War II again. No one
Yeah.
wanted Vanguard. People were happy with Modern Warfare, and now I mean, it's funny because all the things that we were saying for both Halo and Battlefield, Call of Duty seems to recognize and is doing. You
Yeah.
know, they're
Actually.
Call of Duty has been doing the live service model fairly well since they implemented it with Modern Warfare. They have Warzone going on. They have events happening, somewhat regularly and all like that. And on top of that, because Vanguard performed so low, they said, all right, you know what? Not official yet, but we're likely going to take 2023 off and give the series a break, which is what people have been saying for a while needs to happen. Giving the series a chance to kind of reevaluate things, course correct for a year, and come back, in a potentially better state. So I think Call of Duty is kind of, in a way, it's kind of the one that's in the best position to succeed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, aside from just being the name Call of Duty, like it has the building blocks in place, and it knows what it needs to do to kind of fix itself, or seemingly taking the steps to fix itself.
Yeah, the ways to fix Call of Duty. Number 1, release Modern Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare 2. Let it be good. Let it have like its time in the sun. Don't force another one out right afterwards, like a year later.
Yeah.
And let the next one take time to cook, and then let that one come out.
Yeah. And fix Modern Warfare spawning system. Sorry.
Please and thank you. Dear Lord. Dear God. But yeah, I think it's just really interesting what's going on with these 3 series. How these are I guess you could say arguably the 3 biggest first-person shooter series, the three biggest shooter franchises, arguably. Yeah. And how they all were like at the top of their game at various points in their lifetimes. And now that isn't the case anymore. Like, Battlefield 2042 was supposed to be that, and it's not. Vanguard was never supposed to be that, but it still performed low. And Halo Infinite was supposed to be that. It is in terms of quality, but again, like everything else about the multiplayer for Infinite, just like has not been what people wanted. It hasn't fulfilled or satisfied in the way that it should have. I mean, Halo should have been delayed a bit more, just a couple extra months. Delay it to March so that there's more time for things to be in there. It's just really interesting.
Well, I'll say thank you for taking the last portion of the news we have this week. Like I say, I've been very busy, so I have been unable to keep up with some stuff, which is I probably should have asked you to host that part before we started, but hey ho, we're through it now. We're going to talk about what we have been playing now. I'm going to go first because I've only been playing Elden Ring. I don't really have any updates to share apart from one funny thing that happened while I was playing the game. So it was not long after I'd beaten the gameplay that I shown last week. Because basically I stopped the gameplay there and then I just stopped playing. So like so you can fast travel pretty easily in Elden Ring. You just go into the map and then you go to like a site of grace you visited and you can fast travel to it. So I fast traveled back to like the initial site of grace that you find outside in the lands between. And I was riding around on my horse, and I got to a point where I'd gone down into this like, it's kind of like a swampy area, kind of. It's like a big dead forest with like mud on the floor. There's like a few crabs in places. And I'm
like a From Software environment.
Yeah. And I'm riding through this dead forest, and I was like, there aren't a lot of enemies here. This is actually kind of nice. I can just ride through and enjoy the world. And then I started like looking around, and I'm like, this place looks actually kind of familiar. Like I think I've seen this area somewhere before. And then like the Sea of Thieves meme where they're like, Captain, look. And then there's
I don't know this meme.
No.
I don't play Sea of Thieves. I don't know
it. I'll forgo that part then. But I had like a slow turn round moment, and like my eyes go wide. And you know that dragon from the trailer from like the game? Yeah. I look behind me and I just see like in the sky, like the sun behind it. So it's like you just see the silhouette, and I just see it coming towards me, and I'm like,
I'm in danger.
Yeah. And like my eyes go wide, and I'm just like, ride like the wind and just go. And I just tried to escape that area as fast as I could, but it was such a moment of like, you know, when like you're going through an area of a game and you're like, something clicks in your head and it's like, this doesn't necessarily make sense. Just there were like no enemies around. There was no the very few enemies, not a whole lot of people about, big
Mhm.
open space, and I'm like, this doesn't seem right. And then it,
You're
like
like,
I
this
said,
seems a bit suspect
yeah,
here.
it was such a just like slow turnaround moment to see this silhouette coming towards me. I'm like, oh no,
Oh no, I'm in danger.
yeah,
Let's go. Let's get away.
yeah.
See, making me want to pick up Elden Ring, making me want to do it. I'm trying to fight that FOMO, just not walk into GameStop and be like, Elden Ring, please. Thank you very much. Trying to fight the FOMO. I'm resilient. I can do it because I don't have time to play that game right now.
Yeah, I
But
believe in you.
the stories sound fun. Stories sound cool. All the gameplay I see seems cool too. So maybe one day I'll pick it up, give it a try.
Yeah.
But that's a cool story. Funny thing that happened.
What have you been playing, Tyler?
So I actually haven't played much this week either. I've continued Forbidden West. I could have finished Forbidden West last week. Because I'm the next story mission I have to do is like the start of the last few. And I could have done it and finished the game, but there were some side quests that I wanted to do first before I did it, and kind of like started the domino effect of, all right, now stuff's popping off in the story. So because I was doing those instead, I didn't finish the game. My intention though today is to either finish the game or get very close to finishing it. So by the time we record the next episode, Forbidden West will be done. The review may or may not be written by then, but the review will not be out this week. The review will be out next week for sure. Either the same day this episode goes live or sometime during the week. It'll be up by February 18th. Guarantee you that much. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still liking the game, still having a blast with it. Played a bit of Super Mario Odyssey on the train yesterday.
Okay.
It was because I wanted to play something on my Switch, and had a bit of a short train ride because I was going to see my girlfriend. Had a bit like an hour-long train ride, right? Hour and change. And I was like, all right, want to play two different games. And I was gonna play the Project Octopath. No, I'm not Project Octopath Traveler demo, but I was like, I feel like I might need to be like playing long in this one for longer. I was like, something short, I could just like jump in and goof around it for like half an hour. Should be easy. So I played some Odyssey. I'm at the whatever the Beach Kingdom is, the one after New Donk City.
Yeah,
I'm at that kingdom. So I was just doing stuff there, playing that. It's fun, it's cool. It's Mario Odyssey. Nothing too crazy to say about it. But I also played the demo for Kirby and the Forgotten Land while I was on the train yesterday, which is why I don't have gameplay for it today. But that's fun. That is a fun game. It's only 3 levels long. And like it's literally the start of the game, what I believe to be the start of the game. So like you end up landing in, end up getting sent to the Forgotten Land and all. The first level, it's basically like, hey, this is how you suck up abilities and all like that and stuff. The abilities that you can use in the demo that you can get are like the sword one. There's one that lets you like throw bombs at people, and there's another one that lets you like throw a boomerang, like a bladed boomerang. I think it's cool. It's fun. The level design was done really well and everything like that. Each of the levels I did. In the second level, that one introduces you to mouthful mode. So like you start off in the car. You start off with the car, and then after that, there's you get the cone, which you can use to like jump up and like spike downwards on things to break certain things like that. You can use that to you have to use that to create paths for you to walk through, so you avoided getting hit by cannons. But you can also use that to defeat enemies that like these like turtle like enemies that have like concrete on them. You use that to jump on top of them and then break their shell, which in turn beats them and everything like that. It's like there was that one. There was the vending machine one as well, where you get that and you're just shooting cans, just pew, 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 pew. It was cool. It was fun. Those are the only 3 mouthful mode abilities that were in the demo. But like the level design, I enjoy the level design. I don't have too much to say about it, but it was fun. Like it's the first 3 levels of the game. It's not going to be too much to it. It's not like, hey, this is how you do this. This is how you do that. These levels like kind of teach you how to play the game and use these, introduce you to these concepts and these abilities and all. But I enjoyed it all. It was really fun, especially as someone who's never played a Kirby game. I was just like enamored by it. And I did the third level. The third level was a boss level. You fight against this giant gorilla. And you have three abilities you can use before you fight the gorilla. You can pick up either, I think you could pick up the sword ability, you could pick up the bomb one, or this ice one, right? I picked up the ice one because I was like, oh, haven't seen this one yet. Let me pick it up. That was the wrong decision to make because the ice one, it only Kirby just shoots ice out his mouth, but it has to be super close range.
Okay.
And it doesn't do much damage either. So using it on the gorilla was a bad decision entirely. I was like, oh no. So I ended up dropping it. And the gorilla, when he does certain attacks, he leaves behind like stars for you to pick up and shoot out. So eventually I just dropped the ice ability and started using those to beat him because those actually did damage to him. But it was easy, like the boss fights that are there was that boss fight, and then there are some other fights where it's like you walk and then you're like in like a mini arena, like an enclosed arena. You just got to fight like a couple different enemies, like a mini boss or whatever. The fights, they're not difficult at all. Again, early in the game, beginning of the game, so not like they're going to be that difficult or anything. I'm sure they could end up being more complex as the game goes on, but they were fairly easy, but they were still fun. And that's the thing with Kirby and the Forgotten Land. The game is fun and charming. It's so freaking charming and so cool that I played that demo before I played Odyssey. And after I finished it, I was like, I want to play more of this game. I don't have the rest of this game to play though.
Yeah.
So when I was playing Odyssey, the whole time I was sitting there thinking, I want to play Kirby. I don't want to play Odyssey right now. I want to play Kirby. So I actually wasn't going to play the demo at first. I was like, oh, I'm going to get the game. I don't want to like spoil myself with too much of the game, like have it be like too familiar when I get to it. I'm happy I played it though, because it actually made me far more excited for Kirby than I already was. Not to say I wasn't excited for Kirby. I'm very excited for that game, but it made it even more of a, I want to get this day one or as close to day one as possible game.
Yeah.
So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, something you said reminds me about my time with Elden Ring, where you were saying, "Oh, it just made me want to play Kirby even more." I was like, I want to play anything else but this.
Oh, wait. So you want to play anything else but Elden Ring?
Yeah. Well, no. I was going.
Yeah, you get why I'm confused now.
Yeah, I was going for
you don't want to play anything else except Elden Ring. That's what you mean?
No. While I'm playing Elden Ring, I'm like, I want to be playing anything else but this.
Oh, so
I keep dying.
Okay.
It was a really poor joke. Never mind.
So I'm sitting here, you said, I'm just like, wait, does he mean did he mean the reverse of what he said? Because he seems to like Elden Ring. So why would he want to play anything but Elden Ring, right?
I'm not very funny. I don't know if you've picked up on this in the almost year we've been doing this, or actually the like year and a half we've been doing a podcast. I don't know if you've picked up that I'm not very funny.
The joke didn't land that well right there. There was one intent with the joke, but that intent did not get conveyed at all right there. I missed it. Next time. Try again next time.
Yeah.
But Kirby, go ahead.
No, sorry. No, you go.
I was just gonna say Kirby's fun. I enjoyed the demo. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, I do intend to convey that this brings us to the conclusion of episode 48 of the Play to Win podcast. Thank you all very much for watching and staying here for the duration of the podcast enough to see my awesome segue into this outro. You can find our website, playtowingames.wordpress.com, where you'll find updates on the show. You'll find basically updates on the show, anything new that we post, anything new over there. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at playtowingame, where you will also get updates on the show, and you will also get any random stuff that we post over there. You can subscribe on YouTube and take the notification bell so you know when new videos go live. Also subscribe on podcast services and review and share and comment. Like, everything you can do to help us out is always very much appreciated and helps us out probably a lot more than you think. Tyler, where can people find you?
Find me on Twitter at Tyler Miller 2496, talking about Horizon or other games or anime. I was talking a bit about Sword Art Online this week because I finished watching the entire show. Like I rewatched seasons 1 and 2, but then I watched Alicization for the very first time. And War for Underworld, that part of Alicization is just basically Sword Art Online Infinity War / Endgame. Like in terms of just like things that happen in hype moments, it's just like, yo, this is lit. This is too awesome. So I greatly enjoyed it. I stayed up till like 1:30 in the morning watching War for Underworld one day this week, and I shouldn't have done that, but I did because it was too cool. It also, because like Sword Art Online is my favorite, not my favorite, it's one of my favorite animes. It's the anime that got me back into watching anime in 2013 or 2014 after like not watching it for nearly a decade. That's a lie, not nearly a decade, but like a very long time.
Yeah,
I hadn't watched it. It got me back into it. So wrapping it up, I was just like, oh, this is so cool. It's so awesome. All these things that are happening. So if you want to talk to me more about Sword Art Online, follow me over on Twitter. But we can also talk about other stuff, games and movies and so on and so forth.
yeah. I actually didn't like Sword Art Online. I watched the first season and I was like, nah, I'm just not a fan.
What a shame. What a shame.
You can follow me on Twitter at Badlynet, BADLYNET, all one word, if you want to see my opinion on the Batman, since I saw that on Friday when it came out. Saw it at midnight. Very good movie. Highly recommend it if you're a Batman fan or you just like superhero movies in general. Also watched Encanto this week. Also a very good movie. And I have been talking like a few techie like IT things over on my Twitter as well. So you can go and follow me over there for that. Thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you next week for episode 49.
Have a great one.